surprise it was to open up my Twitter account on Tuesday, July 26th, Mr. Rob Higgins, and see not only this incredible photo of what I consider the GOAT of Tampa Bay sports, but also Rob Higgins with a fan. That was pretty cool.
It was pretty awesome. And I'll give you a little peek behind the curtain of meeting Tom Brady. So right before I walk in, we had dinner. There was a small group of us that are all supporters of the TB12 Foundation, which we're going to get into in a little bit in greater detail, our partnership that's being announced related to it. But what I did, because I was so geeked about it, is I texted several of my closest friends and just said, give me a ring when you have a chance. And then I went into this dinner until my phone's blowing up, and I just kept responding to all of them. I'm at dinner with Tom. I've got to call you later. So they all just were going crazy because I had set them up saying, yeah, I'm at dinner. I bragging to all of my friends, like, hey, I'm at dinner. I'm at dinner with Tom. I'm gonna have to call you back. And they're like, yeah, Tom Brady, question mark. I'll be like, I don't want to be rude. I'll call you later. I'm at dinner with Tom. Tom's the priority here.
I see. You seem like the kind of guy who would put off your friends for, Tom Brady, which I completely understand. Which, by the way, super excited to get into the partnership between the Tampa Bay Sports Commission and the TB12 Foundation. All the details on that coming up here in just a second. We've got a really packed episode here on Game Day Every Day, and I want to welcome you guys. If you guys haven't been a part of this podcast, I do want to welcome you to the Game Day Every Day podcast. I'm Ryan Bass, one of the local hosts. I feel like I add something to the title and the resume each time we do this podcast, which is great. Really excited to do that. And here with Rob Higgins, the executive director of the Tampa Bay Sports Commission. We've got a lot going on today. Obviously going to talk a lot about that partnership with the TB12 Foundation. We've got an interview with a very special guest who's going to be joining us, which is Lisa Borges from the TB12 Foundation. She is the executive director. So really excited to get her perspective on this partnership as we announce it here on the Game Day Everyday podcast. Also, USA Gymnastics tickets are available. We'll get into that. A big summer for not only you, Rob, and the Tampa Bay Sports Commission, for myself as well. Excited to recap what's been going on. And then, of course, we've got a very special anniversary shout out at the end of the show to one of our dearest friends. So that is all coming up here on the Game Day Everyday podcast. But I do have to commend you because I thought your tweet, as I alluded to start the show, was very creative. And I quote, just a pick of two Team Tampa Bay guys who have combined for 7 Super Bowl rings, 5 Super Bowl MVPs, 84,000 passing yards, 1 basketball camp free throw championship, and 1 top 10 finish in the 8th grade mile run. You did miss one thing in that resume that you listed off between you and Tom Brady, which was second place finish in the 40-yard dash at the NFL Experience to one Ryan Bass. I'm just saying that should be on the resume.
And I did win that, by the way. But there's some other things. I love Twitter. The only challenge with it, though, is it's limiting in terms of characters. I mean, I did finish second in the Jesuit Alumni Basketball League 1 year as well. So there's some things. I felt like we were only focusing on athletic accomplishments. So like my top 10 finish in the spelling bee wasn't necessarily appropriate. The one thing, though, I did have a kid from 8th grade reach out to me, though, and remind me that there was only 12 kids in our class. So the top 10 finish,
you don't have to disclose
may not be as impressive as some of the things Tom brings to the table. But we have this bromance going on now that we've, met each other and really enjoy each other's company and have had dinner together, that I think he's fine with the way that we balance each other out with some equitable accomplishments. That's for sure.
I think he does like having solid talent around him, as we've seen with our Super Bowl champion Buccaneers and this upcoming team here. So, why not add another superstar here from Team Tampa Bay to the fold? I do have a couple of questions, though. Can you answer a few Tom Brady questions for me before we get into the partnership?
I can, but I'll proactively address some of those. I referenced like the text with my friends and whatnot. I got some really creepy questions back from like, is he as beautiful in person? And how does he smell and things like that. So if you're going to go down that line of questioning, we may need to hold off. But if you got ones that are more appropriate, fire away.
Okay, I do have a couple of questions. The first one is he as beautiful in person as he appears on television?
Yes. He's really tall. I mean, I couldn't believe he's doing a disservice in terms of the height. because I mean,
I think
Ryan,
the picture captured it pretty accurately.
I'm 5'9 3/4, and based off that picture, he's 7'4". I mean, like, it's crazy. He's only listed at 6'4". Most people, I think, round up on the height. I don't, at being 5'9 3/4, legit 5'9 3/4. But like, for Tom to only be listed at 6'4" is mind blowing when you see that picture.
All right. So that was the first question. The second question is, what did he order at dinner?
I tell you what, we were at Berns, and to his credit, he literally just had a gigantic TB12 water bottle and just worked off of that, and restrained himself from indulging in a lot of the things that the rest of us were eating, like, the avocado ice cream for dessert and stuff like that.
Yeah,
he's ready. I'm telling you, he is pumped. And I'm loving the while I miss him already, the fact he had to go off to training camp, us close friends and family.
Yes, of course.
It's tough for us when they report to training camp.
Yeah,
but to see the highlights already with the addition of Julio Jones, you got Russell Gage, Evans, Godwin. I mean, like, how excited are we for this season?
It's going to be an incredible year. And look, we didn't think we were going to have Tom Brady this season, which is, a surprise in itself, that Brady decided, you know what, I'm not retiring. I've got another run or two left in me. And so to have him back, and not only to have him back, but to have a really, really good Mike Evans, who's going to catapult off of what he's been. I think it's 7 straight 1,000-yard seasons he's had since he's joined the league. No player has ever done that in NFL history. You have Chris Godwin, who's coming back, off that injury. Expect to have him soon. But now adding Julio Jones to the fold. And look, this isn't the Julio Jones of old from Atlanta, but still, it's Julio Jones. And then you've got Cam Brate and an assortment of weapons there. Leonard Fournette there, obviously, at running back. And the defense is just as good. Todd Bowles, obviously, with the defensive mind, is going to have those guys ready to go. So it's going to be a good year for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I do have one last question, though, Rob. I mean, you left me hanging here. I got one more question about Tom Brady.
Go ahead.
When's the second date for you two? Did you set one up yet, or?
No, but I'm sure. I mean, I'm sure he's going to reach out anytime. But Ryan, we need him focused on training.
Got it.
I mean, I haven't been watching my phone at all, like, throughout the last 48 hours. But I feel like, the relationship's starting to build. And speaking of the relationship with Tom and his foundation, we're excited today to have announced a fantastic partnership. I think a lot of times Tom is known for Super Bowls. I think a lot of times the Sports Commission is known for Super Bowls, but we're both really focused off the field in terms of trying to have an impact on our local kids. And I think that's what this partnership is all about. We are so excited that with a lot of our local youth programming that we do, that we're going to be able to infuse the TB12 Foundation and their commitment to helping kids, as well as helping health and wellness. So it's an exciting partnership. To help explain more about what to expect with that partnership, we're joined by a very special guest, Lisa Borges, the executive director of the TB12 Foundation. So for those of our listeners that don't know about the TB12 Foundation and your mission, can you share a little bit more about that?
Yeah, sure. The TB12 Foundation's mission is to provide services or resources for underserved athletes, and mainly those who are affected by health-related obstacles or economic obstacles, and helping them reach their life and performance goals. So through the TB12 services, we support high school and college athletes, as well as tactical athletes, which includes service members. So we mainly do that through our scholarship program. And then we have a number of community partnerships as well with some high schools, and of course, other organizations that have a mission that align with our mission, including the Tampa Bay Sports Commission. So we're excited to move forward with you guys on that.
We hear a lot about the TB12 Foundation. Tom, has clothing that he wears to promote it. He's talked about it a lot. How long has it been around? And Lisa, when did it start? So we can get a little history on the foundation.
Yeah, so the foundation was actually created in 2015 by Tom and Alex Guerrero. And that was 2 years after they opened their first TB12 center in Foxborough, Massachusetts. Alex and Tom realized, of course, that the people that might need the services the most couldn't necessarily afford it. So they wanted to be able to offer these, the holistic and personalized approach of the TB12 method to those who ordinarily would not be able to afford it.
I wanted to follow up with one quick thing, just in terms of Tom, if that's okay, before Rob jumps in. We get to know a lot about Tom Brady on the field. The mythology around him, obviously the greatest winner, maybe of all time, in terms of Super Bowl championships. But peek behind the curtain for me and tell me, Lisa, about the charitable side of Tom. How big of a heart he has. Because you see how much he talks about, and he lights up anytime he talks about his foundation, the community work. So how big of a heart does Tom Brady actually have?
He really does have a heart of gold. We get, of course, through the foundation, so many different requests. And I know if he had more time, he would want to be able to honor so many other requests for, it might be a child who's sick, who's just a diehard Tom Brady fan and getting an autographed photo. But he's been involved, through various charities. I know since he was up here in New England with the Patriots, and while he didn't start this foundation until 2015, he was involved and still is with a number of other charities, including Best Buddies. And again, as individual requests come up, he's always willing to help reach out. I know there were some great stories with some Buccaneers fans recently as well, that he was gracious with his time and effort, and helping again to leverage his popularity to support other charities as well. So whether it's a golf tournament here or joining other teammates events, he's always been willing to do that.
Yeah, he's fantastic. I'll just remember not that long ago this summer, he dyed his hair red for the Pediatric Cancer Foundation's Cut for a Cure, and had a lot of fun with that for sure. So he does have a heart of gold, and we truly appreciate everything he does for the community. Now, I know you're no stranger to foundation work as well, particularly with famous quarterbacks. So would love to also talk a little bit about your personal history when it comes to working with great causes such as this.
Yeah, of course. So also I'll go backwards. So I started with the TB12 Foundation. I was an executive director almost 2 years ago, right in the middle of COVID, September of 2020. I was actually doing some consulting work for the TB12 Foundation in 2019. At that time, I was consulting for a number of smaller grassroots and nonprofits. Prior to that, I was the executive director for the Doug Flutie Jr. Foundation for Autism for 18 and a half years. So, interesting career path, like many in the nonprofit community. It wasn't my, original goal to go into nonprofit, but have been here for really most of my career and loved it. 4 years after I graduated from college, I left my full-time job to intern for a sports marketing firm in the Boston area. At the time, it was very well known. It doesn't exist anymore. But my goal was to be a sports lawyer. I was going to law school at the time as well, and interned for this company. Spent some time in their football division, and then they hired me. And then 6 months later, they basically got rid of the football division, which just wasn't working out, and they were focusing on other things. And I thought to myself, all right, what do I do now? I didn't really want to spend 60 to 80 hours a week working for a law firm necessarily. I grew up loving sports, especially football in particular. But while I was at this sports marketing firm, I was introduced to Doug Flutie. His agent was there, and they were just starting their foundation, which is obviously in honor of their son who is autistic. And just kind of happened to fall into it. Knew nothing about nonprofits, nothing about autism in particular. It was really a crash course for me. But again, stayed there for 18 and a half years and learned quite a bit, and really enjoyed, working with the Fluties. And it really was just, I think, coincidence that I'm now, working for another NFL quarterback who also lives in Florida, because Doug moved down to Florida a while back as well. So it's been fun. I enjoy it.
That's what we do. Quarterbacks come down, they retire in Florida, but they also
Right.
continue winning championships in Florida, like Tom Brady does. But I'm just curious, how'd you get linked up with Tom?
Interestingly, when I was doing some consulting work, I was connected with a PR firm that was doing some things for them on the side, both the TB12 Sports and the foundation. And coincidentally, the former CEO of TB12 Sports happened to be on the board of directors for the Flutie Foundation years ago. So when COVID hit, they kind of took a break, and then I reached out to the CEO just to see what was going on. Again, this middle of 2020, to see what was going on with the foundation, and he said, perfect timing. We're actually looking to bring someone on board to really focus on it, and went from there.
That's awesome. That's incredible. And it's great to see that the foundation, not only while it has started in Boston, has impacted the New England area, but now is truly making an impact here in Tampa Bay. Can you speak, Lisa, to some of the initiatives that are taking place here for Tom and the foundation?
Yeah, we're really excited about that, and had an opportunity to speak about that earlier this week at a fundraising dinner in Tampa. And it's as I mentioned, I've been there you're here at the foundation for almost 2 years, and I've had a number of different conversations. There's so many really great organizations down there, but we're really looking for organizations that were truly dedicated to improving the health and wellness of our youth and service members. And have just coincidentally all around the same time are establishing some great partnerships, obviously with Tampa Bay Sports Commission, but in addition, we're working with the Pinellas Education Foundation and the Pinellas County Schools to implement the TB12 method into their health and wellness curriculum for grades 8 through 10. So because they're such a large district, this will impact over 10,000 students each year. And the goal is to be able to, again, provide them with these resources, so that whether they're athletes or not, it's important for people to understand and be able to educate themselves on how to take care of their body, and at an earlier age, right? I think it's helpful to do that. Next, we also are working with Operation Healing Forces, and they work with Special Operation Forces warriors and provide supports and resources for them. In particular, they have a couples retreat that they do for a number of their, whether they're active duty or retired Special Operation Forces, and it's an opportunity for the service member and their spouse to connect, and they provide different activities for them. So we're going to work with them to help them, learn and experience firsthand the TB12 method, and again, provide resources and equipment and things for them. And then we're also working with Tampa PAL, the Police Athletic League. They do a number of after-school summer and athletic programs, and we're in particular working with them on their boxing program, and sponsor a PAL Kid of the Month, and a body coach will visit with the kids each month, and again, provide them with health and wellness resources and tips on how to stay healthy.
Unbelievable how much of an impact you're having across the board, whether it's with education to veterans, and then certainly, as you've heard with a lot of the organizations as well as us, there's a focus on youth and youth sports. Why is that so important to the TB12 Foundation specifically?
Yeah, the youth in particular, as the foundation has grown and we've helped so many of them through our scholarship program, you see that so many athletes are sidelined or inactive for a number of different reasons, whether it's injury or they just, don't have the education in terms of how to take care of their bodies, and whether that's hydration, nutrition, or pliability or mental fitness, the pillars of the TB12 method. So it's really important, again, for us to be able to educate them. And you also see that not only do these setbacks affect them physically, but it affects them mentally and emotionally as well. And that's, again, really important, and why, TB12 is a holistic method. So in addition to that, we have our scholarship program. So if a student athlete is eligible for the program, it's a very personalized approach. They work one-on-one with a body coach and help them reach their goals. And that could be anything from recovering from a torn ACL to, performing at 100% on the field or court, whatever their sport is. Some of them, it might be, they've unfortunately suffered a tragic accident and they want to be able to just walk independently. We've had some clients like that, or scholarship recipients, or, they're looking to earn a scholarship for a D1 school. So, Tom and Alex's goal is to really be able to educate and teach as many people as they can the benefits of what these daily health habits come from TB12 method, and help individuals do what they love to do better and for longer. That's really kind of the mantra of TB12.
So incredible, the things you guys are doing. And if people want to be a part of it, help contribute to the TB12 Foundation, how do they do that, Lisa?
They can go to our website. We have the website is tb12foundation.org. And we also share a lot of information and stories on social media as well. So probably Instagram the most, but also Twitter, Facebook, and LinkedIn.
Thank you again for the partnership. We look forward to working hand in hand with you to have a great impact on our community and our kids. So we look forward to the teamwork that'll take place between TB12 Foundation and the Tampa Bay Sports Commission, and I've really enjoyed it, and can't wait to make sure it's a huge success.
Yeah, no, we're very excited too. I think there's so many great opportunities to collaborate going forward. And as I said, just being able to really make a difference and an impact in the Tampa Bay area together, I think will be some really great stuff. So, and thank you so much for having me on here today.
The only
Thanks, Lisa.
request I have, Lisa, is that I think I should be included in the next dinner, the next roundtable dinner, just to throw my
Lisa,
input in.
No. He's got a lot of work to do to be able to make the cut of that. And so I'll answer on your behalf. I don't want to make it awkward, but Ryan's got, it's going to be a while. He's like a few years out from making the dinner invite list.
Got it. Okay.
All right, I'll put the request in.
Yes.
Ryan's just jealous because I got a chance to be there.
I know, right? Special opportunity for sure.
Special thanks to Lisa for joining us, as well as for the partnership with the TB12 Foundation. We are so excited to work with this group to have a great impact on our local community as well as our local kids.
You've gotten to know Tom Brady over the years, Rob, obviously working with the Sports Commission and the Super Bowl that we worked on together, and the Bucs being in it. It's been an opportunity to really build and get to know Tom Brady. But what I'm excited about this partnership is we get to understand the work that Tom wants to do with our youth, right? And through his foundation and the benefits that he can do. And they've got 5 pillars. I know we talked a lot about the pillars, of Forever 55 when we were working through the Super Bowl. And I love the symmetry here where they've got 5 pillars for the TB12 method. Pliability, hydration, nutrition, functional movement, mental fitness, all things that I think are so important, especially at the youth level, and building that foundation as you continue to grow. One of the things that I'm curious about, Rob, is, again, you've gotten to know Tom a little bit, but not to this degree. And unfortunately, when I was covering the Bucs, it was mostly during the pandemic. So I didn't get to know Tom face to face. It was all over Zoom. It was all over video. So I think this gives us an opportunity to really understand who Tom is. Take me behind the curtain. How did this partnership come to be? When did this start to formulate? What were the early discussions, and why were you all so interested in partnering with the TB12 Foundation on this?
Ryan, we're fortunate to have a fantastic board of directors, and Jim Henning, who is on our executive committee, has had a great relationship with the TB12 Foundation. And he really connected me and Lisa. We had our first meeting up in Boston back in March, and just had a lot, you could tell, as you just mentioned, had a lot of synergy between what we're both trying to accomplish and the impact we're trying to have on kids. And certainly there's nothing more important than health and wellness and getting kids off to a great start from that standpoint. So we really hit it off from that meeting. We've had a variety of meetings ever since. And then certainly it's culminating with this announcement for this partnership. But it all started, I really want to give a lot of credit to Jim Henning on our board for making that introduction, because it's led to some really great things for our hometown.
The first event where it's going to debut is going to be the Tampa Bay Volleyball Combine, held at the University of Tampa this month. 100 athletes are going to take part in that annual combine. And it officially debuted there, which is really, really cool. Take me through what other events we're going to see, Rob, in terms of this partnership. That combine and that that volleyball event was awesome to see it debut there, but take me through some other events. What else can we expect? If there are kids out there that want to be a part of this, how can they be a part of it?
Yeah, I mean, we have so many great events that we do throughout the year that focuses on helping our kids. The next one from our standpoint is coming up in December with our high school all-star football game. That's always been a fantastic event. It's traditionally held at Raymond James Stadium, and we usually have about 100 high school football players that are competing in it. Traditionally, there's been about 2/3 of those go on to play in college as well, at colleges throughout the country at a variety of different levels. And so that's really going to be our next focus. The volleyball combine itself was fantastic. I know all the participants really enjoyed getting a chance to learn more about the TB12 method and put to practice a lot of the things that they were educated on.
It's incredible, and it's a fantastic partnership. I think it elevates both the TB12 Foundation and the Tampa Bay Sports Commission. So truly excited to see this partnership flourish, and truly excited to see another picture of you and Tom Brady where he completely dwarfs you, because I think we need more of that content on social media, and I'm hoping that we get it. What an unbelievable, summer we've had, and we've got some big events coming up. USA Gymnastics obviously will be here before you know it, Rob. Tickets still available, right? You can still go online and get them.
There, you can log on to Ticketmaster.com. I'd say the big difference from the last time we talked with our last episode, at that point in time, you could only buy all session tickets. And now, just as of last week, the individual session tickets went on sale. So for as low as $19, you can come see some of the best gymnasts in the world. We're less than 3 weeks out. I would encourage you to get your tickets now. You can log on to Ticketmaster.com. It's going to be an exciting 4 days at Amalie Arena, August 18th through the 21st.
Really looking forward to that event. It's going to be awesome. We've been talking about it for a while, and it's going to be awesome to have some of the best and brightest in gymnastics descending on the Tampa Bay area. And I think they're going to love that event being at Amalie Arena. What a summer we've had. Just want to quickly run through it, Rob. Between the 50th anniversary of Title IX, the NHL awards, it has been truly fruitful. It's been fun. It's been energetic. It's been enlightening, uplifting. Just take me through some of what you've seen, the best and the brightest of what we've been able to accomplish this summer.
I think a lot of people think of summer as a slower time of year, but I can promise you, for the Sports Commission staff and Team Tampa Bay, it's been a dead sprint, and we have really enjoyed it. We've had a variety of different initiatives going on, whether it's the 50th anniversary of Title IX and the event that took place at Amalie Arena. We were one of just 4 cities to work with ESPN as well as Spectrum to help preview their 50 series, which was so powerful. I want to give a lot of credit to Claire Lessinger for all her hard work on that initiative. And it pains me to say, I want to give you a lot of credit as well, because there's a great recap video from that event. I would encourage all of our listeners to check out on our YouTube channel, where you did a fantastic job shedding a lot of light on that really important event for us. Also, right around that same time, we were so fortunate to work with our good friends at the NHL, their special events team, to host the NHL Awards. We had some of the best hockey players on the planet come to Armature Works. It was for an hour long on ESPN. What a great feel. I think they're used to being out in Vegas and being in a theater. So for us to be able to showcase our hometown as well as Armature was a really special night there. And then also about a week after that, we were in Vegas for the College Athletic Directors Convention, which went really well. We attend that annually. We're one of the only destinations, if not the only destination, that tries to take advantage of that. It's great to see a lot of old friends throughout the college space. The event has been virtual for the last few years, so to be back in person was really cool. Got to meet a lot of people as well, and certainly those relationships are really important when you look at all the different collegiate events we have coming up, whether it's Frozen Four coming up in April, or the college volleyball national championship in December of 2023. We've talked about how we're a women's Final Four finalist again for 27 to 31, and we're hosting it in 25. I mean, these are the folks that are on those committees. They've been such great friends of ours, and it's awesome to see them back in person again. So between the 50th anniversary of Title IX, as well as NHL awards, NACTA, and so many of the different youth and amateur events that are taking place, it's been one heck of a fun summer. I know we have had a busy summer, and I've followed you on Instagram. I know you've been pretty busy, but you're about to get even more busy. Am I right, my friend?
Yes, you certainly are. And while this TB on my hat stands for Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Rays, it is going to be a really, really fun next month and a half, Rob. I'm truly excited to and grateful to not only the Rays, and their entire team and entire organization, but Bally Sports for truly giving me the opportunity to fill in and do some games, this season. And with Trisha Whitaker being able to do some Apple TV Plus games on the weekend now, elevated to the national level, I've gotten called up to the big leagues yet again. So more additional games coming my way. But yeah, 18 games, Rob, in the next 30 days. I'm really excited for it. Got a trip to Detroit coming up. Got a trip to New York planned over September 11th weekend, which is going to be truly special to cover that series. So grateful to the Rays, excited. Buddy, all you got to do is tune into Bally Sports Sun, and you can see this beautiful mug covering Rays games all August and September long.
Well, I hate to correct you. Actually, I kind of love correcting you, but they didn't give you the opportunity. You earned it. You have done a great job and have brought so much to each broadcast. I've had fun tuning in. I can't wait. I'm excited that there's more ahead, and wish you the best of luck, because I'm sure it's going to be fantastic as always.
I appreciate that, buddy, and I'm grateful for you and your friendship and the ability to chat about it on our Gameday Everyday podcast. And we mentioned teamwork, right? I mean, with Rays and Bally, it's a team, and it's a team effort there. And one of the favorite things for me, being able to work closely with you and the Tampa Bay Sports Commission, is to get to know your team a little bit. And I'm not going to play favorites here. I'm not going to play favorites with your team members, but I will say Jason Augie is one of my guys. That's my dude. And it's a special anniversary, Rob. And I know we put out a little happy anniversary shout out to him, but Jason's been grinding with the Sports Commission for quite some time now. 17
years now. And I'm not going to play favorites either, because we have a staff of 7, which means I have 6 favorites. But he's done a fantastic job. I mean, a little bit of the insight as to how we brought him as part of it is, in my first year, we'd be bidding on a lot of different youth and amateur events. And he was at Polk County at the time, working in Lakeland and working with the Central Florida Sports Marketing Group, which is really the Polk County version of what we do from a youth and amateur standpoint. And we kept losing out to Polk County. I'm like, why do we keep losing to our next door neighbor here? What could put us over the top? And I think Jason was one of the common denominators there, and we were fortunate to get him to come over. And now you think about the fact he's been here now for 17 years and accomplished so much in terms of bidding and hosting, not only on the youth and amateur side, but what he does and brings to the table from our major national event side and several other facets of the organization is fantastic. So we are so blessed to have him here. I think part of the secret sauce to our organization has been keeping this dream team intact. And certainly him being here for 17 years, I think speaks volumes to that. And we wish him a happy work anniversary, and here's to 17 or 34 or however many more that hopefully we'd be able to keep him around.
I'll tell you, he is the second most handsome person that we've talked about on this podcast, next to Tom Brady. I also think he's just as tall as Tom Brady. Like if you two took a picture together, definitely would have the same height difference.
I think Tom is taller. And while Jason and I have been close, you and I have been close, I mean, this relationship I have now with Tom has been fantastic. I mean, in fact, Ryan, he much like you, I know the way to your heart is swag.
Yeah.
And so Tom knows like that I love hats. And so he, got me this TB12 Foundation hat. And then he knows, having seen me in person and, eating at Berns like that, he knows I like protein as well. So then Tom got me this, box of protein, which I can't wait to try. I'm sure by the next episode, I'm going to be absolutely jacked. And then, the other thing about Tom is he knows that it's hot in Florida and that the importance of hydration is key. So then he got me these electrolyte packets as well. So,
wow.
I mean, I don't think it's really hard to tell how he's trumped you and jumped you on the close friends list, and why our bromance, mine and Tom's, is now certainly at the top of the overall Higgins list.
Well, I fully expect next year on the Game Day Everyday podcast for Tom Brady to be replacing me as your co-host. So that's number one. And number two, my only request, now that you have all this swag, including the beautiful hat and the nice electrolytes and the pack of protein, is I don't know if you saw on Tom's social media account on Twitter, he had put a picture of him wading into water with his new Tom Brady swim trunks that he's now selling with the TB12 clothing brand. So my only request is, after you down all that protein and you start to get a little bit more fit and you start to work on your TB12 method of hydration and work ethic and workouts, that I needed a Rob Higgins wading into the water in Clearwater with the sunset coming down, all glistening in gold. Beautiful. Just making sure you show off that new physique that you've had now that you've adopted the Tom Brady TB12 Foundation method.
Yeah, and I think that was Tom's very intentional. Knowing him like I do, he's very intentional and strategic. So I think his thought was get the man on some protein first before giving him the Brady bathing suits. So this is it's a process, and certainly I think everybody's excited to see the end results of this.
The Brady bunch alive and well between Rob and his love affair with Tom Brady. Stay tuned. Next episode, it'll be Tom and Rob on the Game Day Everyday podcast.